Namaste, friends. I want to invite you all to take part in and encourage and support a Laksha Chandi Maha Yaga that is going to happen in Memphis, Tennessee, in USA during the Navaratris between October 16 to 26 of this year of 2020. This is going to be done by S3 Foundation of USA, which is a non-profit organization started by students of the University of Memphis. They also maintain a nice Gaushala there. S3 stands for Shraddha, Saburi, and Samidha. Shraddha is devotion, Saburi is patience, and Samidha is fuel for Homa. A few words about the context and about the significance of this particular event that they are planning. They say that in Kali Yuga, the worship of Chandi is very auspicious. Kalau Chandi Vinayako. In Kali Yuga, Chandi and Vinayaka are very auspicious, very beneficial to worship. That is because Chandi addresses any issues caused by Rahu and Ganesha addresses any issues caused by Ketu. And right now, in a few weeks, Rahu and Ketu are going to move signs and come into Taurus and Scorpio respectively. Last time this happened 18 years back in 2002 2003 time frame, the seeds for the instability we see in the world were sown. That is when the Iraq war happened, and that resulted in instability in the Middle East and the rise of ISIS, and that destabilized Europe also. So these are the times when instability occurs because Taurus is the second house of untimely death as well as wealth in the natural zodiac, and eighth house is the house of instability, sudden changes, etc. So when explosive Ketu is in the eighth house of sudden changes, and when shady Rahu is in the second house of wealth and untimely death, that is a very unstable period for the world. And as such, we are at a crossroads. People may be concerned about the pandemic that is going on right now, but bigger problem than that is what we are doing to the environment, what we are doing to the nature. As a result of our irresponsible ways over the last several decades, world is really at a crossroads. Basically, if you look at the wildfires that are happening in that USA right now, Western USA, or happened in Australia just a few months back, I'm afraid that this will be a pattern over the next decade or so. The next decade promises to be extremely destabilizing for the world with a lot of loss. Peaking probably around 2030 when Jupiter and Rahu conjoin in Vrishchika and Saturn and Ketu conjoin in the Rohini Nakshatra in Vrishabha. That at the end of 2030, that promises to be a very very unstable period, and the next decade will lead up to it through various economic crises, various environmental crises, lot of losses, and various countries struggling, lot of clashes between various countries. All that may lead to a big war in 2030 period. So given all this background, given how humanity is at crossroads, it is very very important that we encourage events like this Laksha Chandi Maha Yaga. In the Chandi part, in the Durga Saptasati, it is said, Dvrittanam Aseshanam Balhanikaram Param Raksho Bhota Pisachanam Patanadevanashanam. It means anybody who has wrong behavior, a wrong attitude, or various ethereal beings that cause harm, just by chanting this, they are destroyed. So this is a very very powerful and auspicious event to undertake in Kali Yuga, chanting of the Durga Saptasati. And if you do it in a Homa form, it is even more auspicious. Fire is a representation of God, a living representation of God on earth. And this is something that most civilizations knew, whether you take the Inca civilization in South America, or Mayan civilization in Central America, or Native Americans in the Northern America, or Greco-Romans in the European region, or Hindus, Buddhists. Everybody knew the efficacy of fire in connecting with the source of consciousness, with divinity. And that is why, even though the exact ritual they did is slightly different, everybody realized long back, that through fire you can connect to the source of consciousness. So, worshipping Chandi in fire and doing a Chandi Homa or Chandi Yaga is very auspicious for avoiding various kinds of evils. And I want to say one more thing about Chandipat itself here. People may think that this is just a story of a powerful warrior lady destroying various demons, because that's how the literal meaning of the story of the 13 chapters go. But the thing is, if you look at the 13 chapters, they are divided into three charitras, and the three charitras are said to be equivalent to Rigveda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda. So this is basically not just a story, but there is a lot of hidden meaning inside it. And this really is a metaphor for self-realization, overcoming various inner weaknesses and enemies and become self-realized. For example, the whole story starts with a king called Suratha and a Vaishya, a trader called Samadhi, being frustrated with life and going to the ashram of a rishi called Medha. Then he teaches them the story of the Devi, how she destroyed various demons. If you look at Suratha, Suratha means good chariot or good vehicle that symbolizes the body. Body is a chariot that basically hosts the soul and the mind, etc. And if you look at Samadhi, Samadhi literally means sam plus adhi. So basically concentration, good focus, collection in one place. That is what Samadhi means. And that stands for mind, a focused mind. And of course, it's a businessman because focused mind wants to achieve something. There is a particular goal in mind. You want to, maybe when I'm focusing my mind on what I'm speaking now, so I want to say something coherently. Like that, basically when you focus your mind on something, there is a goal in mind. So that's why Samadhi is represented, depicted as a businessman, as a Vaishya. And Medha literally means intellect. So the Rishi is basically, intellect is the Rishi who's guiding the body and mind so that they can get out of this cycle and become free. So that is the whole purpose of the Saptasati. And if you look at the stories, in the first Charitra, it is about overcoming the tamas, the laziness, and to do some sadhana so that you become enlightened. That is why the story is about Madhukaitava. Madhu and Kita means, Madhu means honey, pursuit of honey, and Kita is a insect. So basically, like a honey bee, we are collecting the honey of the world, running around things, collecting money, wealth, various possessions, and we never really bother about realizing ourselves, realizing our true nature. And the story basically symbolizes coming out of that tamas and stopping to run like a honeybee collecting the honey, but wonder who we are. And in the second charitra, again, the peak of the second charitra is killing of Mahisha. And if you look at Mahisha, Mahisha symbolizes the pride, the sense of we being special. When we do work, we think that we are doing something important. So this is basically the stage of Rajas, where you are doing a lot of important work, but you feel proud of it. So overcoming it is symbolized by the killing of Mahisha. And in the last Charitra, which is much longer, has a lot more chapters, it is basically overcoming Sattva itself. Even when you are not really proud, you overcome the Rajas. Even in Sattva, there is a sense of this is mine, I am doing this, I am experiencing this. That sense of I, the ahamkara, and also the mamakara, basically mindness and I-ness. Those are symbolized by Shumbha and Nishumbha. And in the 8th chapter, there are eight armies of great warriors that the Devi fights, and they symbolize the Ashtapasyas, 8 bondages that bind a soul. So those are in the eight charitra, 8 chapter. Similarly, in the 6th chapter, I believe there is a story of Dhumralochana, Vadha of Dhumralochana. Dhumralochana is basically unclear vision. So even one is acting in sattva, there may not be full clarity about the nature of things. What you are experiencing, what you are doing is all being done by the Devi. We are all just mere instruments. We think that we are sentient beings thinking and planning things and doing, but Devi is doing everything through us. So lacking that clarity basically is symbolized by Dhumralochana. Similarly, Raktabija, it literally means the seed of attachments. So the vasanas, the subtle vasanas we have, that this is good, this is bad, this must be done, this must be avoided. All these things are the root of various desires. So even if you overcome one desire, as long as that root is there, another desire will take birth. That is the meaning of Raktabija. When you kill him, from each blood drop, new Raktabija coming. So like this, I can't really, in a short video, I can't go through the entire Saptasati and explain the meaning. But this is a very sophisticated text, a very nuanced and metaphorical text that really represents the inner journey to overcome various of our weaknesses and become really enlightened. And just as it applies to a single individual, it applies to if you, for example, look at the entire life on earth as a being and personify the consciousness of earth as a being, then basically it applies to that being also. If that being is engaged in either tamasic actions or rajasic actions or even sattvic actions that are not in balance, with not in harmony with the divine will, it will basically help that being to get in harmony with the divine will. So from that point of view, to overcome various obstacles we see in the world right now, to fix various problems, various evils we see in the world right now, for that also, along with individual self-realization, for that also this is very essential and helpful. So this is a very important time for humanity. And moreover, as I emphasized in a previous video, in December time frame, Saturn and Jupiter will exactly conjoin, and just before that there is a very important complete solar eclipse just a week before that. So this is a very important time. So at such an important time, I'm very glad that S3 Foundation of USA is is organizing a Laksha Chandi Maha Yaga at Memphis, Tennessee. So if you scroll down after seeing this video, you will see some links to their website and the details of the yaga itself, etc. So please encourage them. If you can take part in it and support them in whatever way you see fit and you are capable of. And also, even if you can't take part directly, wherever you are, you can also chant Chandi part, Durga Saptasati during that time. And as such, Navratris are very auspicious for chanting Chandi anyway. So, on that note, I thank you all for paying your attention. Om Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. यावत् भूमण्डले सनातनधर्मो वर्धतु विशेषतः भरतखण्डे अमेरिकावर्षे च ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.